Hi. Hi,
Hi.
friends. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the kickoff stream for the Inverse Writeathon. I'm so happy you all are here. This is a new Writeathon designed by yours truly that is poetry themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so welcome everybody and welcome to my co-hosts, Laura, Minouk, and Michael. Do you want to start a round of intros?
Sure. I'm Laura Nettles. I mostly write horror. I also have a contemporary romance pen name and a vampire romance pen name that is still underway. And just all the stuff. So, um, I'm here, and what I'm working on today is reading through my draft 7 of my middle grade horror, Seeds of Doubt, to make sure it is ready for my last beta reader before I query it again. So, um,
Exciting.
yeah, I did a find and replace, so I need to
Nice.
make sure I didn't kill anything.
That's always
last time,
dangerous business. What
last
did
time
you
I
have to
changed the
find and
character
replace?
name, the main character's last name.
Oh boy.
So I liked his name, but it turns out it was a late night talk show host's name. So I was like,
Yeah.
I should change it.
I had a
So
character.
That's when your editor kind of like contacts you and asks you why the word grapefruit randomly appears like
so
13 times in your manuscript.
I changed Carrie's name to Ashley, but I had spelled Carrie like different ways throughout the manuscript apparently. And so
Oh
I
yeah.
just did all
Yeah.
versions of Carrie I replaced. And so people were Ashleying things instead of carrying things. I was like,
Oh
dang it.
no.
Oh dear, yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh, foibles. Welcome, Laura.
Thanks.
Yeah.
How about you, Manouk?
I can go. Yeah, I can go next. I'm Minouk. I write fan fiction. I don't write poetry, but I thought I would just jump on the chance to get to hang with Anna and Laura and Michael and write for a bit. I'm currently drafting for my fan fiction. Might switch to editing later because I'm kind of tired of drafting.
Amazing. Do you have a sense of how far you are into the story, or are you pantsing?
No, I'm a super plotter. No
Cool.
pantsing for me. Yeah, I'm about to finish Act 2 in the
Amazing.
draft
Ooh,
stage. Revisions, I'm
nice.
like 3 chapters in.
That's a later problem.
Yeah.
And Michael.
And also, Minouk, you were saying, weren't you? This is your first backstage. You were saying this is your first stream, is it?
Yep. It
You
is.
know, that's exciting. Welcome and everything. Totally.
Thank you.
I'll
um,
try to keep the chaos to a minimum.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can make that promise. But yeah. Hi, I'm Michael. This seems to be my writing event that I've created. Um, but yeah, I for the event at least from the or for the writing standpoint, uh, I'm going to try and write 5 poems, and
Mm,
basically add 5 poems or write 5 poems for my big poem, like to add to them or add to it. And I'll be doing little things here and there, also chores and stuff. But yeah, if I could just throughout the whole writing event kind of evenly add or consistently add a total of 5 poems to my big project, then I'll be really happy with that, and I'll consider my
mm.
goal,
Yeah, do you
achieved. But
have
yeah,
a number that you're shooting for overall for the epic poem or?
yeah, for sure, it's going to be 500.
Wow.
So I'm on now like 280 something, I think.
Wow, so you're over halfway and
So
it's only April. Very
yeah,
good.
yeah. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's me.
And I'll just quickly say for anyone who's new, I'm Anna Robbins. I'm a fantasy writer who sometimes makes videos, and I am a broken record because once again, I am revising my Gaslamp Fantasy Project Gemstone. So we are halfway through, well, a little over halfway through. And I would really love to just bust out like as many chapters as possible this weekend. I'm going to try and be on lots of streams, and I'm finally in a part of the book where I can finally just kind of roll through chapters and kind of just give them a cursory read, and kind of the harder stuff is out of the way. So fingers crossed we can really knock some stuff out this weekend.
Yeah,
What draft
totally.
is
You
it?
got this.
This is, well, I did a 0 draft, a first draft, and then this is draft 2. So it's my third round, which is like very confusing. I probably won't use like the 0 draft moniker anymore, because now that I get further in, I feel like I'm cheating myself when I say it's draft 2, because it's really draft 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's say hello to some friends in the chat. Keiko is here first. Hi. Okay, and they ask, why is Gandalf on the thumbnail? So if everyone could go open the description box, you'll see that everybody has picked a poem that Michael wrote for the Writeathon, and the poem that I picked is called The Staff. So since you so kindly asked, let's just go ahead and read it, and I think the thumbnail will make sense. And it'll be really fun to see all the poems that everyone else picked. Okay, so this is called The Staff. A man was walking in the woods with a walnut staff. Another man came onto him and made a sneering laugh. Wizard, what is that you hold? Will you cast a spell? Oh no, magic is not real, he answered, meaning well. They parted ways, the laughing man still in doubled half. But in a while, as nightfall came, the wizard lit his staff. So that
Yay.
is on the thumbnail because I needed a wizard. Hello, Anya. Nice to see you. Hi, Adam. It is a day. I'm a person, and this is a stream. That much is clear. That's all we can ask for.
Yeah.
Hi, Loretta. Welcome. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Erin. Hope everyone's doing well. Hi, Caitlin. So good to see you. Hi, Francis. Hi, Randy. Hi, Grayson. Oh my gosh, so many people. Hi, Becca. And hi, Felicia.
Becca.
Holy moly. Thank you guys for being here. Minouk, what fandom is your fan fiction, if you would like to share?
Sure. It's a Harry Potter fan fiction, specifically Marauders era.
Love. We need more
I
Marauders.
have a Harry Potter fan fiction that I have not written in for a while.
Did you leave people hanging, Laura?
I have! It's so bad!
At what point, how far did you get before?
11 chapters.
I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Those gosh darn cliffhangers, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
My name's Voldemort hears the whole prophecy and decides, let's just kidnap Harry. I'll blood adopt him and raise him as an assassin against the Order of the Phoenix.
Right, I remember.
It might have worked out for him if he had done that instead. Michael, is this a disparate collection of 500 poems, or do they sum up into a story?
Actually, sort of both. I'm trying to make, so I guess first and foremost, it is like a story of 500 poems. But at the same time, I'm trying to make each poem sort of like as separate and kind of distinct and like its own thing as possible. So there is that, but then, yes, very clearly, obviously, there is a story arc where it is kind of like a novel in verse also. So, but yeah, kind of both. I'm trying, at least as I'm trying, you know.
Yeah. It's a lot to juggle, especially with 500.
Yeah, it's ambitious for sure. I hope it turns out okay.
Hi, Sarah. Is this you, Laura, talking about that fic all the time on my pen name /fandom X account? I'm sure there are lots of fanfics that have hit chapter 11 and then disappeared. It's probably a common occurrence, but maybe you need to check out on that fic, Laura.
If it talks about Harry's first wand being made out of his spine, Yes.
That's
Right.
true. You did just say the plot of it, actually, so it's probably pretty recognizable. Yeah. Well, maybe you have to return to it. Caitlin is writing for the first time in months today. Don't even remember where my head was at. Well, take it easy. We're just getting feet wet, no pressure. Even if you just spend the whole time just reading what you did last or just being in the aura of writing, that's completely okay.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap magic.
So his wand needs to be untraceable. He's not 11 yet, but he needs a wand to be able to go on missions. And so Voldemort's like, I know a guy. So he takes him to a wand maker who carves out a slice of his spine to use as part of the wand so that it can only be used by him or someone related by him. So only him and Voldemort and the Potters can use it, basically. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's a painful it was a painful chapter to read, but it was very fun to write.
Wow. Yeah, that is intense.
Oh my.
Yeah. Really fun thing about how to get around all the rules of the world, although it is dark.
You can't
Yeah.
just canon divergent. Fine.
His teacher, so like basically the one who helps raise him is a vampire. And teaches him in different languages so he can learn magic spells in different languages. And Fenrir teaches him how to track. And there are different, so like there's different augmentation rituals that you can do. So Harry is technically part werewolf now so that he can track better.
Oh my
But he
gosh.
won't transform. So
You could be the next Manifold.
if I ever get back to it.
That sounds interesting.
I just had a video come out yesterday about all of my whips.
Yes, I need to watch it.
There's 43 stories I have that are.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So, including collections. So,
you just need more time.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, I'm going to get us into our first sprint. And while we are sprinting, we do have some discussion questions for everyone to be thinking about, and we can come back and chat after the sprint. So the first one, of course, is poetry themed since this is in verse. So I just want to know, do you read or write poetry? What's your experience with poetry? Are you like, ew, gross, no? Are you like, poetry is my lifeline? Have you read poetry that you really connected with? Tell us all the things. So
are you gross? Yes.
True. You could be both. Ew, gross. I love it. All right. We're going to do a few 25s today, depending on
that's funny.
how chatty we are. This first one and the second one are beach themed because Laura and I just went on beach trips. And we're going to pretend that we're still at the beach. All right. Have a good sprint, everybody.
Woot.
everyone enjoyed our Sunset Beach sprint. How did that go for everyone?
Hoot.
Other things.
An evil cackle. Okay, I'm taking that as a good sign.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sure.
I finished fixing a timer and it is now rendering, and I am writing a Substack post.
Excellent.
Because I haven't done that in months. So, yeah. And I opened my document. It's there now.
Good. Very productive.
That was me.
How about you, Michael or Minouk?
Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Okay. So that was our first sprint of the writing event. It was totally a warm-up sprint for me, but I did get my document opened. I got to the bottom of my document, and I just started writing, but there's no progress whatsoever to note just yet. But yeah, I'm getting there. And actually, I know I was trying to say earlier, I'm on number 280 right now. So
wonderful. Awesome. Sorry I was off cam for most of that. I was scarfing down a salad, so lunch has been eaten, and I did start tinkering with my chapter 21, I think, while I was eating, and I realized that all of my chapters were misnumbered for like the past bunch, so had to go through and sort that out, but we got there. We realized it. We caught it.
That's just an easy fix, though, where you can just change the numbers?
Yeah. I added a couple of new chapters early on in the book, so everything just kind of cascaded, but that's fine.
Right, yeah.
Well, let us go ahead and turn to the question at hand. So, friends, do you read or write poetry, and what is your experience with poetry? Please enlighten us.
I've written a couple of poems, like less than 10, maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's very sporadic.
Same.
Some of mine are like, I don't know. I tried to do a prose poem. It didn't. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are.
I don't think there are any rules in prose poems. I think that's what makes them so interesting.
Yeah, but it didn't flow very well. And then I don't know. I do have some poetry. I have some by J.C. Carpenter and by Portia Simmons.
Beautiful.
So yay.
Yeah.
I believe this one.
Yay.
Has a signature.
Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful signature, Portia. I wish she was here so I could compliment her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's on her Ko-fi.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, if you want to hear some of my poetry tomorrow night on Morgan Lee's channel, she and JC are hosting a poetry open mic night. So
fun.
Yeah. I will be reading 5 poems I wrote in December.
So. Wow, that's a good handful.
Nice.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that's going to be tomorrow, Sunday, 5:00 Eastern on Morgan's channel.
Roy's really wanting to attend. Oh, sweet baby.
Hi there, Roy.
Really handsome.
How about you, Minouk?
I think I've wrote some poetry when I was 15.
Fair enough.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
I never touched anything like it since. I do like to read it when I come across it, but I don't really go seek it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have been talking to our friend Stieg about how like the new way for me to discover poetry is poetry Instagram accounts, which sounds kind of cringe, but it's actually so nice to get such a broad like swath of different kinds of poetry.
Right.
And I just don't encounter it very much outside of that, which is interesting.
poets of Instagram, right? That would be the
That's a
the
good
correct
one.
term.
Yeah. Poetry is not luxury is one of my favorites.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and I also wrote 510 words. I never shared that.
Oh my gosh. Woo!
Nice.
Nice
Oh no,
job.
that's bad for me for drafting.
Oh, I
think
was
that
just going to
sounds
say
awesome.
that's a great first sprint.
Especially, yeah, our first
Yeah.
one. We're not warm in the head yet. That's great.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
It's like what I write in 10 minutes sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, size queen.
Because I'm just word vomiting.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. I miss drafting. I'm so jealous. Get me out of revision. I don't like it.
Mm.
Let's trade. As soon as I'm like drafting, I want to be in revision and vice
That's
versa.
so true. That's so true. Grass is always greener.
Yeah.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I read poetry and write it.
You are the
Yeah.
poet of this bunch for sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he says writing 280 poems this year.
I would say my favorite poet is actually Emily Dickinson. And I've also read more of her work than any other poet I could say. I also think I have a really close affinity with William Wordsworth, but I have yet to really get into reading like a lot of his work. But what I've sort of seen so far, I feel like it really hits home with me, and it feels familiar and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's a nature poet, I believe, right? Very romantic. I can see how that would vibe with you.
Yeah, one of the romantic poets.
Yeah. I'm kind of like Laura, where I've written like a handful of maybe like 10 poems across my entire life. But I would really like to start reading a lot more poetry. For the past 2 years, I've done a little like poetry project where I just read poetry for the month of April, but I didn't do it this year. So I've read collections from like Robert Frost and Maya Angelou. I've tried some modern poets, but I haven't like so far found a ton that I love apart from like Mary Oliver, of course. So I feel like I'm just dipping my toes into the world of poetry, really.
Then there's the poets on Instagram you were mentioning too.
And those, yeah. And I just have like a folder full of random poems that just, sometimes you read a poem and you're like, you kind of like have to take a second because it kind of pushes you on the back foot and you're like, whoa. So I have my folder of Instagram poetry.
Nice.
Keiko says, reading poetry seldomly. I have been traumatized by German classes. Having to memorize poems and The Sorcerer's Apprentice still haunts me. So when in Critical Role Season 3, the furniture started to move. I also was traumatized by having to memorize poems in high school. That was a project we had where we all had to pick a sonnet, memorize it, and then get up and say it in front of the class.
Yeah.
Just, to torture us, just for funsies. I don't know what that accomplished, but introverted me was pretty scarred by that.
Yeah, that is pretty, I guess you could say, old school, the old, recitation kind of approach.
Morgan says, I love writing poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was a kid and mainly write it to process my emotions. I don't read as much poetry as I would like. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Aaron says, I both read and write poetry. I got into it in 3rd grade during our poetry unit and then discovered slam poetry. After that, I became obsessed with writing poetry and telling stories through poetry. That's really cool, Aaron, that it's like kept consistent through your whole life.
Yeah.
Hi, Essie. Thanks for being here. Working on some blog posts, I see. Caitlin almost self-pubbed a poetry collection in like 2016 called The Downward Spiral. Poetry helps me work through anxieties. That's very cool that you have a collection under your belt, Caitlin.
Yeah. That would be interesting, Caitlin, to reread now. I'm sure you've changed, and it would be almost like a bit of a time capsule to go back to how you used to think and write. And Yeah.
Totally. Essie tends to write more than read it, but they are both things I seldomly do. Yeah. Loretta reads poetry more often than I write it. Lately, I've been enjoying some of the romantic poets as well as T.S. Eliot. Novels and verse are also a favorite of mine to read. That's cool. T.S. Eliot is on my list for sure. Oh, we have another T.S. Eliot shout out. Inspired me in my own writing, fiction, not poems. Rhyming is abysmal. Yeah, me too, Francis. Adam said poetry sneaks into my diet every now and then, but like most everything else, it's a matter of having time. This seems to be a running theme for everybody. I find verse difficult, though a screenplay in verse last year turned out well. That's really interesting that just having a different intent kind of changed it for you.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
That is interesting. Eva said, I've written poetry since my childhood and love it. I enjoy silly poetry and deep spoken poetry. Yeah, good point, Eva. I feel like I also love both ends of the spectrum of like ridiculous, silly, fun, sweet, and then like those poems that just really like hit you in the chest. Hi, Luna. Welcome. Read and write, although I haven't written poetry in an embarrassing amount of time. Don't worry. It can be a once in a blue moon thing.
Yeah, totally.
Hi, Randy. Thanks for being here. I do try to read poetry every once in a while, but I don't think I've written it since I was forced to in school. Yeah. All right. Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. Our next one, and I just have to say that everyone should leave an emoji in the chat for Laura because the stream is brought to you by Laura Nettles. Laura made all the timers that we're using today, and she also helped me come up with some really great discussion questions. So everyone leave an emoji for Laura in the chat to say thank you.
I'll have to think of what the right one
Yeah.
would be, that I would feel.
You can take your time thinking about it. But for our next sprint, we're going to be thinking about magic systems since to go off the theme of the poem and the wizard with the staff, I thought we could just touch on magic. And so Laura asks, what is a unique magic system you've seen, yours or otherwise? And I'm really interested to see what you guys have encountered.
Yeah.
So let me get our sprint up. This is going to be another beach timer. And I'm not going to...
Yeah, this one has ambience.
Okay. Should I mute?
Up to you.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good sprint, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side.
Yay.
Okay, everybody, that's the end of our sprint. Enchanting. How did we do?
I ate the leftover chicken nuggets from the kids'
Excellent.
stuff, so I scrounged those up out of the air fryer, and I pulled up my Spotify playlist for my middle grade horror, and I started going through, and I sent out my Substack.
Woo! Excellent job.
Hey.
I wrote 881 words.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Now I see what you mean. That's awesome. Do you think you're just in a really good spot of the story where you're excited and it's just really flowing really well?
I mean, the scene that I'm writing is kind of exciting, but now I wrapped it up, so I don't know. I do have I know where to go next, but I'm not that excited about writing it, so I might just switch to editing now.
Sure. Yeah. Well, drafting well accomplished for the day if you decide.
Sure.
I finished one scene in this chapter and made it a good way into the second scene. So I'll probably finish this chapter on our last sprint, which is good. So I'm excited about that. We had some lovely thank you emojis for Laura in the chat, but the chat just jumped. Okay, there we go. Thank you to our sponsor and patron saint, Laura. And what do you all think about this question? So, what is a unique magic system you've seen, yours or otherwise? What do you all think?
So, I don't know if it's unique, but is it a magic system? I don't even know.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So in my vampire romance, I have turned vampires and born vampires.
Ooh, yes.
And I have it so that they have the born vampires can get reincarnated while the turned vampires just weak out of existence.
Oh, that's
so
cool,
the
Laura.
souls and the afterlife are different for different types of beings. And I don't know, it's really fun. I haven't really seen that messed with. And the reincarnation of these vampires, their soul goes into a chrysalis in their throat when they die. And so people will snatch the chrysalis out. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. I don't know.
No, that's cool. I mean, I've never seen a distinction about different kinds of vampires, but now that you say it, I'm like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah. If you bond, if you put your blood through the spirit chrysalis, it will be bonded to you and basically be your familiar until it reincarnates, before it gets reborn. So
my gosh. Yeah, I would say that definitely counts as a magic system.
So.
Ooh.
How about you, friends?
I don't think I've ever written a unique magic system, but I think everything that Brandon Sanderson writes is pretty unique in the magic system department. I could never, but I think it's amazing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's kind of the first person that I thought of as well. He's kind of the signature guy for these sorts of things. I totally agree. What do you think, Michael?
Gosh, I don't know. I was as soon as I saw this question before our sprint, I started thinking about video games.
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe books or movies or something. But then, I'm playing this game right now and it's really good. It's called Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah.
And it has magic in it. But then I was thinking it's not such a unique magic system. It's kind of like a traditional magic system that's kind of light. It's not like really like heavy and whatnot everywhere in the game and stuff. It's just sort of like your basics, like fire and ice and lightning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Light and dark. Yeah, so that was what I thought about, but I do, and that's kind of like on my mind right now because I'm playing that game. But I do admit it's not a unique magic system, so I kind of got
Yeah.
nothing on that.
That's okay. Yeah, the only two magic systems I've written myself have been very done before. Like the first fantasy book I worked on for a long time was an elemental fantasy, so probably pretty similar to that system, Michael. And then my one that I'm working on right now has a system where like spells can be imbued in gems, which has probably been done quite a lot. Fun nonetheless. But I think the unique one that came to mind is from the book that I'm reading right now, which is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, which is a very ridiculously fun book about like in Victorian England, and the world is kind of ruled by pirate gangs of women. And how they travel around is by stealing people's houses and then piloting them through the sky like ships. So if you have if you have the correct magic, and I think if you have a steering wheel of some kind, you can go in and thief someone's house or building or anything, and just it'll rise up into the sky. And so they're just like stealing each other's houses and backstabbing each other. And someone had crashed their house into a ship, into a cliff, and so he's like the pirate without a ship. And it's just very, very silly and wonderful.
Nice.
Morgan said, the magic system I'm planning for one of my whips is based on the arts, so music will have different magic powers than painting or drawing, and I haven't fleshed it out yet. Morgan, this is so cool. I love this. I think a lot of readers would connect with this. If you got their art in there, they'd be like,
Right.
It would appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. Keiko also said allomancy, of course. And Portia joined us. Portia, we were just commenting on how beautiful your signature is in Laura's signed book. So, and I wanted you to come so I could tell you that I think your signature is so beautiful.
It came all the way to California from Canada with me.
Amazing.
Low Bridge, High Water by Portia Simmons.
The signed ones are on her Ko-fi, which will be in the description of my stream, which is stream number 7, I believe.
There you go, folks.
Nice.
Erin said, I feel like the magic system in my fantasy book is pretty unique. Everyone is born with an innate type of magic and a specific sin that reflects a journey they must go on to unlock that type of magic. There are also pillars of magic that go back to ancient times in my book: life, death, object weaponry, sound, elemental, time, and creation. Erin, I love the idea of people having a certain type of magic that's destined for them, but they have to earn it.
Right.
That is very interesting to me.
That reminds me, there was one show, something about Salem. I can't remember. But all of the witches and stuff, their magic is through sound. And so they all of the witches, they sing and harmonize to like do shielding spells during the war and stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool.
Cool. I was picturing like the witches from Hocus Pocus, but it's probably a lot cooler than that.
I've still never seen Hocus Pocus.
That's what it is. Motherland Port Salem.
Did
I'll have to get on that.
The same one? I missed it. Luna said, maybe not unique, but in the Green Rider books, when a person is called to be a writer, she is simultaneously chosen by a magic object, a brooch that grants them an ability, invisibility, etc. That is cool. Love magic objects. I'm just going to scroll here, make sure that I got everybody's answers. Randy said, I wished I had more than just gambling-based magic system. Ooh, interesting. But my brain hasn't been able to dive into it, although I did want it to be inspired by casino-based card games.
Ooh.
I could see
This
this.
sounds like an anime to me. This
Yeah.
just sounds like epic.
Like
Oh,
such
really?
a good
Full of
mashup.
mind games.
This is a really cool concept, Randy. I think you should run with it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let me see here. Morgan got 492 words. Great job, Morgan. Aaron wrote 201 words, halfway through the current poem. Awesome. I'm glad we have someone here working on poetry. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hi, Emily. Good to see you. 146 words in my YA Bigfoot project. This is very fun. Luna added to their commonplace book. It's slow going, but I'm getting there. Nice job. Loretta finished my about section on my Substack. I would say I'm about 80% done. Good job.
Nice.
We have good blogging and Substacking going on today. Oh, Adam did want to say the point of magic is to be unique. That is what makes it so hard.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is a fantastic book, The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. I'm like taking my time reading it because it's kind of a treat. And I don't know if you guys do that with books you're really enjoying where you like don't want to pick it up because you're rationing it kind of.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been
then you're also kind of like thinking to yourself, like you've only got that first read of it where it's going to really make that first impression on you. And yeah.
Exactly. I can only read it for the first time once, which is really sad because it actually makes me giggle. It's quite a funny book. Keiko agrees with the Brando Sando love. Here's one idea. No vegan diet, no vegan powers. A la Scott Pilgrim, I imagine. I love that movie. Sarah's been working this whole time on bookkeeping. Must do. Yep, that's fair. End is in sight. Well done. Yay. I hope you can work on something fun for the rest of the afternoon. Essie finished their blog post. Well done. Oh, okay. Okay. Motherland, Fort Salem is what you guys were talking about. Very cool.
Ooh.
And hi, Cody. Welcome. Happy you are here too. Only 2 chapters left to write in my first draft, and I hope to finish it all today. Wait a second. You're about to finish your first draft? That's amazing, Cody. I'm so excited for you.
Nice.
I love when people hit milestones on streams, and I hope you'll be in the streams for the rest of the day, Cody, so we can all cheer for you when you cross that finish line. That's so awesome.
Yeah, you got this. Exciting.
All right. Well, thank you all. I'm going to speed us into our last sprint. So we have just a few minutes to wrap up at the end and say goodbye. But I did have this one little question from Laura that I think is so nice and sweet and a nice note to end on. If you could go back in time to tell your early writer self something, what would you say? So I think that's just a really nice reflection moment. Let me get our last sprint up and I'll probably shorten it just a little bit. Oh, was that a meow or a bark?
That was a child crying.
Oh. That's fair.
That was
the plot thickens, right?
The plot thickens. Let me shorten this just a little bit so we have a little bit of time. Okay, here's your last sprint, everybody. Good luck. All right, everybody. That's the end of our last sprint.
Woot.
How'd we do? That went by very quickly for me.
I finished proofing chapter 1.
Woohoo!
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Minouk, would you like to go?
Yes, I wrote another 622 words. I continue.
Oh my gosh, in 20 minutes. Well done.
Wow, that's awesome. I actually got into my sort of first meaningful bit of written writing for the writing event. Actually, the second sprint, I apologize. I know I got back and you guys were already talking, but that one was my lunch sprint. So I was eating for that one. So, yeah, for this one, I finally got into some good writing and hopefully I can, keep it up and stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I finished my chapter 21 and kind of started tinkering with the next one, which looks like might get split and rearranged a little bit. I have some beta reader feedback that are talking about like where chapters begin and end, so I'm doing a little bit of finagling on the next stream probably. But yeah,
If that's the case, don't forget about the numbers, the
yeah,
chapter numbers.
it's about to get even more complicated. I just renumbered everything, and I'm like, I think I need to mess it up all over again.
It's all good.
But as we're wrapping up, what do you guys think about this question? Little bit of reflection. If you could go back in time to tell your early writer self something, what would you say to them?
You don't have to save all your writing for only nano events.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I would only write during April, July, and November.
I mean, that's pretty good for, a hobby writer. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How about you, Minouk?
I would tell myself to just write for myself and not stress about other people reading it.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think I'm still learning that still.
I just have to, I wish I could tell myself you don't have to make it a career. There's another career waiting for you and it's great. You can do that for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Allowed.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to throw a big wrench into the gears for this one.
Okay.
And maybe just actually say, I might say nothing at all, even if I had the opportunity. I would just let nature kind of run its course, or let time run its course, and just kind of end up back where I am now, because, I'm happy with the way it's all turned out. I can't complain.
Oh, love that. Love that so much. I think I probably would say to keep reading fun fantasy books. I pretty much stopped reading fantasy when I was in school doing my writing degree. I read obviously a lot of literary books and did a thesis on Sylvia Plath, and just kind of diverted my reading for a couple of years. And so when I graduated, it took a long time for me to figure out how to write again, because I had just completely lost track of my genre and what I like to write.
Right.
And so it wasn't until I started picking up books that were for fun again that I kind of had that writing spark again. So I would definitely say keep reading fun books.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Keiko said, throw the perfectionism into the trash can. Well said.
Yeah.
Adam said, don't go back to living with your parents. It's a trap. Randy said, please just finish the draft and quit chasing the shiny new ideas. I'm drowning here. Also, don't write that one book about that one guy. He sucks and you've wasted a really good name in it.
Oh,
I hope maybe when enough time passes, maybe you can reuse the name if the meaning becomes a little less tied. Portia said, you have the sight. Being able to see things as they are and as they should be is a big part of being a writer. The rest will come. Keep putting words together. Well said. Luna said, the road is longer than you expected, but you have to keep walking to reach the end, and there is joy and growth in the difficulty.
Wow, we've got some great answers.
Nice. This is
You
really
know?
nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Devesha. Thanks for joining. Eva said, there's indie publishing that isn't vanity publishing. Look into it. It's wild. I realized these options way too late.
Ooh.
Yes, everyone, do your research.
Yeah.
Morgan said, don't upload that book on KDP, formerly CreateSpace. It needs a lot of editing. It's not ready. Oh, I think a lot of writers
Oh dear.
have done this. No fear.
Yeah, totally.
Cody said, I would tell my past writing self that perfection is not the priority. The first draft is meant for you to have fun and get your ideas on the page. Yes, preach. Well said, Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I just thought that was a very nice question to end on. So thank you, Laura.
Yeah, it was.
All right, y'all. Well, we have just a few minutes until the next stream is starting. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Everyone, if you're continuing along with us, there's a link to the playlist in my description. So you can be sent right over to Nia's stream. And the links for everybody here on screen with me is also below. So please check out these lovely people. And yeah, do y'all want to do a quick intro / plug anything fun that you have coming up or that you want folks to know about?
I'm Laura Nettles. I'm a Submit Horror. My collection called Tiny Shivers is out, and the audiobook comes out next month. So hooray, hooray.
Exciting!
And tomorrow night is the AuthorTube open mic poetry night. So please come. It'll be on Morgan Lee's channel. It's going to be great.
Yeah, tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern
Yes.
in the evening.
On Morgan's channel. Awesome. Minouk?
Well, I don't have a YouTube or anything, but I do have an Instagram, so you can check that out. You can read my fanfic if you want, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And hi, bye. Also, hi, Michael. This is my writing event. And yeah, thanks, Anna. And onward, I suppose.
Onward indeed. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining and for all of your fun discussion answers. I am a fantasy writer who sometimes makes videos, and our April video will probably be posting on Monday if I can get the thumbnail done. So keep an eye out for that. We will be doing a Lazy Gang stream sometime in the month of May, but you will just have to wait and see when that ends up being because I do not know. And other than that, I'll see everybody in the chat for the rest of the weekend. Hope everyone has a great write-a-thon, and we'll see you later. Bye.